Hello, welcome to the next video in this training series. Again, this is Jennifer Mintz. I am the Interim Finance Director and Town Accountant for the Town of Orleans. Should you have any questions about this presentation or others that you think would be helpful to you, feel free to email me, jmintz@town.orleans.ma.us. We're going to dig right in here, go a little bit deeper after the last video of running your month-to-date reports. We're going to talk a little bit about how you should read the data on these reports, analyze them, and work with them on an ongoing basis. So let me go in here again to SegFind, as you learned in the last series. I'm going to pull up Department 135, which is Finance and Accounting. You'll put in your particular department there. This time I'm going to put expense accounts here because I want to basically look at my operating budget accounts as they were approved at town meeting and determine where they stand, reconcile them for the month. So accept, I'm going to go to report options, and I am going to run this so that we can see some detail for 2024 period. I'll run it for period 12 since that's kind of the current open and completing period. Again, I'm going to have my month-to-date box checked. I'm going to go to additional options. I'm going to make sure that this print journal detail, these boxes here, reflect that same time frame. Or, sorry, 2024 12 to 2024 12. And I'm going to click accept. Again, I'm going to sort by number 1 voucher. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a PDF of this report. So let's talk about this a little bit more broadly. So basically what this is showing me is this line is my salary, my first salary line, which is the Orleans Managers Union assistance line. I have a original appropriation, which is the amount approved in the original operating budget. I have a revised budget, which is going to include anything like in the old way, budget amendments, or any subsequently appropriated funds in a later town meeting, or reserve fund transfers, things of that nature. So the difference between these two, you should be able to determine based on activity that you're aware of or your office generated. Year-to-date expended, this column right here, this is going to show you for the entire year, period 1 through period 12. And for those who don't know, period 1 is July, period 12 is June. We run on a fiscal year that goes July through June of each year. Fiscal 24 started in July of 2023 and ends in June of 2024. So that's the time frame, the year-to-date time frame of this report for fiscal year 24. Now remember, we put in period 12 only. That's for this column. The month-to-date expended is going to be a total of $6,259.18. And then the detail that shows underneath, again, is only going to be subject to this limit that we put on it. If you put period 1 through 12, this is going to show all 12 months of activity. So you can see here that in the 12th month, in June, these are all of the entries that happened to affect that account for the month that in total in the year had this amount of activity. So this says to me that as of today, of my original $77,378 budget, right, revised after any changes, so on and so forth, I have expended $62,348.70, right, for the year. For the month, I've expended $62.59. I should be able to look at this and all of this activity and reconcile that to my records to say, yep, that's what I thought would have happened in that month for this account. And again, here you will see anything that has been encumbered or done via purchase order this will show you what is remaining available, right? So your original budget, less what you've expended, less what is reserved by encumbrance equals your available budget. And this is the percentage that you've used. Obviously, the other side of that, the 19.4%, so 100 minus 80.6, the 19.4% is what remains available. So let's look at it a little bit from an expense line instead of a salary line. So if I go down and I look at let's look at my office supplies line, account 542-100. That's something that's very common. Most of you have it. So again, let me get my headers up here so that you can see those. So here you have a original appropriation, revised budget, same thing. So you'll have, I had an original budget of $1,000. I had a revised budget of $998. That means that at some point in time I did a budget amendment to move $2 out of this line into something else, which it's obviously right here. So that shows me why that amount changed. I am aware of that, so that makes sense. Year to date, I've expended $956.47. In the month of June, I've expended $2.64, and that's made up of this line right here. API stands for accounts payable invoice. So this was an invoice paid to a vendor. In this case, it was WB Mason. I should, again, via my own records, be able to validate, yes, in the month of June, I expended $2.64 to WB Mason for office supplies. So then you have your, again, encumbrances and your available budget. That's what remains to be spent. If it's not spent by the end of the year, it will go to free cash. It will not remain in your budget for operating budget lines. So basically, this is kind of what you'll see. You can run, obviously, these reports on a larger time frame. If you're looking at these and maybe doing a deeper dive more quarterly, then you'll run it on a longer period. Or if you want to look at your entire year and see all of your detail and just make sure that you've captured everything, especially in any time when there's something that maybe was posted late, or you may have missed. If your balance is off, it's a good way to double check if there was activity that maybe you weren't aware of, or that you missed the first time around in your records, and be able to tick and tie each of these line items to what you know. So again, any questions, email me, jmintz@town.orleans.ma.us. Thanks.